Hey guys, welcome back to Mimi Puppet, and as you see from the title, let's make sense of what this guy has done, right? So what I want to talk about is how the media is trying to portray the whole thing that is happening right now. For example, you got this dude called Gaige Grosskreutz or something like that. It seems he's not as nice as he portrays himself, right? Nothing is exactly what they're saying. Nobody even knew he was white. It's kinda weird.
Oh my, I did not know this. As another progressive person, I assumed the same. I was pretty shocked to learn many of the details over the past couple of weeks. Once I watched all the video footage and learned some other details, I was like, oh.
The fact that he is losing in court because they caught him doing weird stuff, saying stupid stuff, not even admitting that he had a gun with him. No, it just fell. Not that he was pointing the gun though. It's kinda weird. So we can see the narrative is keep breaking up, and they're doing everything to keep it in the right direction. And that's when I realized, you guys don't want to be right legally. You just want to be right politically. You don't even care mentioning who was killed if it was a white man. But you would have cared if it was a black man. And that's when I started to be like, this is kind of weird. Why would people do that? Unless they have a reason to be right. So people can vote for them because they're black. That's why they don't say that he's white. They won't say that because nobody is going to protest for white people at this time, like BLM. They won't. There's a bunch of things happening to white people. Nobody even cares. Look at the previous video of mine. But hey, let's go to court. And then you will understand exactly what I mean. So the Democrat narrative is just getting destroyed in court. So the media, CNN, has to come in and save the day to put it correctly. Good Morning America has to do the same thing too. And I was like, people, what are you freaking doing? And they're pushing and they're pushing and they're pushing. Wow! But before we start with the video, remember to like, share, subscribe. It seems like YouTube really doesn't like the video that I put out, but I enjoy it. So hey, I hope you enjoy it too. And let's get into the story. So here we got the gangster lies of Gaige Grosskreutz, what he was trying to say, which is kind of messed up.
When you were standing 3 to 5 feet from him with your arms up in the air, he never fired, right?
Correct.
It wasn't until you pointed your gun at him, advanced on him, with your gun, now your hands down, pointed at him, that he fired, right?
Correct.
And on Good Morning America today, you said that you were absolutely not pointing your gun at Rittenhouse. Can you clarify that?
Yes, absolutely. First and foremost, that was a very tense situation, something that I've never been in before. It's like having never been shot before. I think it's important to note, though, that specifically during cross, and if there is a skilled attorney, they're able to present questions to help support their narrative. That's their job. And with one of the exhibits that Attorney Sharafi had introduced, there's a photo of me with my gun pointed towards the defendant, either just after or right during. He had shot me in my right arm. The only way that I could have sustained the injury that I have is if I had been shot with my arms up.
So you can see that this guy is just saying, you know what, look man, I didn't really point the gun, that never happened, but I surrendered and he shot me in my bicep. And I'm like, dude, that doesn't make any freaking sense, especially when there's video footage. The problem is that in this day and age, not a lot of people watch the news. And I'm like, dude, you have to be like, you can research it with a few clicks in Google. It's not that far away. But you just want to be right. You don't want to do the research. Come on, man. Because all the time when I talk with specific left-leaning people that I explain, dude, don't you even notice the things that is going on? And they're like, well, I didn't know that. What? What? He's white? All 3 of them that got shot is white? How can you be so passionate about a lie? I don't understand. And look, even the friend is lying of this Gaige Grosskreutz dude. Look.
He didn't say that to you.
He never said that to me.
You just posted something about your friend, your roommate, that was a lie.
I did.
This post right here is you equating something that Mr. Grosskreutz said to you.
I lied. He never said that. Those words have never came out of his mouth.
How can you have a case on lies but not evidence? I don't understand that. How can you believe I'm just going there using my political points and you're gonna win, because if they don't let us win, we're gonna riot? And even the jury is like, oh, I'm afraid if I made a decision because you people are gonna dox me. And I'm like, what? This is the perfect example, like the David Chappelle skit that he did, that he was a black African American dude, but he was white supremacist, but he didn't know because he was blind. They don't want to tell him because he's so good to the cause. So the fact that 3 white people passed away, supposedly under BLM umbrella, we need to take advantage of that. But when they were talking about these people getting shot, nobody said 2 white people passed away, 1 got shot. No wonder. If it was Mexican, if it was black, it would have been mentioned 100%. Look, Mr. Cuomo talking about deadly force.
Because saying that you used deadly force on purpose, that you were aware, deadly force inherently means what it sounds like. Force that you're saying you understand can kill the other person. Was the threat that he faced something that made using deadly force reasonable? And that last part is going to be a problem, I'm telling you. Self-defense in Wisconsin is about imminent threat. You have to fear, to use deadly force, that someone is going to really hurt you, serious bodily injury or death. Was it reasonable under these circumstances?
So you're telling me, if I go to my wife,
Finish her!
I didn't use deadly force. So if she took a knife and do, that's not self-defense? Emotional damage is no self-defense? But if I say he or she wrong, that's violence? Come on, people. In what world are we living in? Seriously, I know most of you don't even believe in God, but I'm praying for you because the world doesn't make any sense. Why do I have this on? The freaking judge is in America. Somebody that cares about the laws of his country. And he has a something Bless America song, and everybody's like, he's racist.
Extent that if there's no...
Wait, so you're telling me if I go to my Curacao Island and there's a Curacao judge, right? And a carnival starts playing and ting, you think the Dutch people are gonna be like, that's racist, that's a bad, it's his country. We're so supposed to be happy for our own country. Why can't I be happy? You guys make the weirdest point to win a discussion with a minority that has all the power on the majority, and people are waking up.
That he watched several hours of Kyle Rittenhouse direct testimony and cross-examination. He believes that Kyle is telling the truth and that he acted in self-defense. We found him to be civic-minded patriot with a history of helping his community as an EMT and fireman in training. In his removing hate graffiti earlier that day from a local school, and ultimately in volunteering to protect the business during the night of August 25th in Kenosha. Our first-hand impressions of Kyle were materially different from those we had previously formed based on mainstream media reports and opinion pieces that we had consumed. I have always been frustrated to read an inaccurate press report about a subject I know well, yet somehow I continue to believe other articles in the same newspaper about subjects I know less. Media and political bias are dividing our country and destroying lives. While we have not heard the entire trial, based on our assessment, Kyle on the stand, we believe he will be found innocent. Oftentimes, communities react negatively and even violently after jury verdict, where they are surprised by the outcome based on what they have previously read in the newspaper, seen on television, or more like has been served on social media. I encourage you to watch the trial, or at minimum his testimony and cross-examination. With respect to my own political bias, I am not a gun owner nor a member of the NRA. I support strong gun regulation and removing loopholes in the sale of guns. Unfortunately, it seems society's view of Kyle's innocence depends more on one's views about gun control rather than what took place that August. The answer just got a call from the media asking if my Twitter account was hacked. That is, the reporter couldn't conceive of the idea that I could believe that Kyle is innocent because I'm not a right-winger. Not only is this case highly political, but if you're a right-winger, you must believe that the kid is innocent, and if you're a left-leaning person, you must believe that the kid is guilty. And if you don't, you're going to get the mainstream media so baffled by why the brainwashing tactics didn't work that they're going to actually call you to see if your Twitter account got hacked. Welcome to modern America, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy your stay.
I'm glad they're waking up. I was awoke a long time ago. I was one of the shameful people that never said anything. Now I'm the crazy people that opens his mouth. And now I'm like, hey, I guess you were right. I'm that guy now.
This guy, maybe, legally he's right about things. I've been listening to the legal folks, but certainly his demeanor, the way he speaks to the prosecution, the way he looks at Kyle Rittenhouse like it's his grandson.
Why is the demeanor so important when it's the law? If somebody sneaks into my house and he stays for 24 hours, he can stay in the house. Oh, I don't know what's that word. So you know what I mean. People that jump into your house, pretend they're living there, and you cannot even turn the water or the electricity off because it's their human right to have that in your house. But they're in it, right? Do you really think I will go to them, hey man, this is my house, and they're gonna be like, hey man, but I'm already in it, it's my human right. Do you really think I care about their demeanor? The way they respond nicely. I'm gonna be, oh, you poor little thing. Dude, no. Look at Drew Hernandez, how he was presenting a few facts. These are all things that are out there, right? Look at this.
And at that point, Kyle Rittenhouse came at a car source too, and he attempted to de-escalate the situation. In the video, Kyle has his hands like this, and he is saying something, but I can't identify what he's saying, but he clearly attempts to de-escalate the situation, and he actually is successful because the rioters then disperse.
During that evening, I know that you said you didn't know who he was, but did you, in looking back at your videos, have an opportunity to observe someone that evening, Mr. Rosenbaum?
Yes.
And do you recall, just tell me where you saw him originally, if you can.
The first time I saw Mr. Rosenbaum was when the police were pushing the rioters back to the gas station on Sheridan, Ultimate, I believe. And Mr. Rosenbaum was pushing a flaming dumpster on fire into police vehicles that were occupied by officers and human beings.
Did you see Mr. Rosenbaum do anything that kind of drew your attention after what we saw?
Absolutely. He led the charge into the gas station. He was getting physically aggressive. He appeared to be attempting to start a physical altercation with people in the gas station, to the point where he was telling one of the individuals with a rifle, shoot me, N-word, shoot me, N-word, clearly attempting to start a physical altercation.
But he's under oath. And now let's see him talk not under oath.
Listen, I showed up on night one in Kenosha, right? And right when I showed up on the scene, they already had dumpster trucks on fire. Yeah, the reason why I decided to take an Uber from Chicago all the way to Kenosha was because on Twitter, they were already taking bricks to police officers' heads and knocking them unconscious. So there was literally nothing peaceful. It was never a peaceful protest from night one. I know the mainstream media doesn't want to talk about this. A mostly fiery, peaceful protest, right? But it was, listen, I always say this, Kenosha from night one was obviously a riot, but it was a crime scene for 3 days straight. And here's why I say this. On the third night when I returned back to Kenosha, I was talking to some of the people on the ground, some of the people that had their businesses burned down to the ground. When you were walking down the street, people had their windows boarded up. They were writing things like, children live here. You want to know why they were writing that? Because there was a threat to the community. There was an obvious threat to the community. People thought that they were going to die, Alex. People thought that they were going to die in Kenosha because of violent acts that were being committed by these criminals, and they're trying to paint this picture that they were peaceful protesters. At no point was Kenosha a peaceful protest on night one, night two, or night three. And Joseph Rosenbaum was violent.
And night four, after Kyle did his duty, they brought out the National Guard.
Abolish the police.
Yes, of course.
Do you see the point that I'm making? Usually when we see these left-wing people, when they talk under oath, they're normal. But not under oath, they're not normal. Woke point. Ninjutsu, woke point. I'm like, dude, why? Why can't you just sound normal under oath and not under oath? That's my big problem that I have right now with society. But anyway, I think I reached the end. I made my case. Hope you guys enjoyed it and see you guys in the next video. Comment, people. Woo!
Don't get me wrong, makosa kita bong. Buta fire na mi blonde, kush hash, purple skunk, criollo, colombici, jam, turloqueta, verdeta, welcome. Devido a mi a tu iniciativa, padre ku indica, e também que sum sativa. Te ainda no que acepta ku eta medicina, Bob di nang di eta causa rebeldia, cooking.